Alrighty everybody, so this is more likely just going to be an informational what I'm doing to this truck. Right now, if you watch the past videos, I've said that I'm probably going to be doing, sending it out to a fabrication shop. That's what's going to happen here. Talked with Lenger Racing over at Grand Rapids. Found them, I forget how I found them exactly. It was I think long travel meetup at the dunes is how I kind of found them over in Grand Rapids. So for doing the fabrication work that I can't do / don't want to do because I don't have the tools or the know how to do it, I'm just going to pay someone to do it for what I want done, which is complete, like the rear suspension, rear end back there, and kind of finish up the front. The front's like 90% done, everything's loose, but they're gonna finish up basically the suspension work, the front, and make a front bumper for this, and then do the whole rear suspension. The cab is being untouched for right now because what I want to do is get everything I need to know where everything will be laid out and change the motor, and then once I gut the cab completely, because there's just a bunch of stuff in here for now for what they're going to need, but I will gut the cab completely down to bare metal and then send it back to them for the cage. There's pretty much nothing back on these frame rails. The harness all the way back to roughly like here where the plugs are, right up in there above the transfer case, I removed. So the harness, the fuel lines, everything all the way to this point has been removed. Yeah, the engine's been back in for a while. The harness has not been put back in. I'm moving the battery to the back. A bunch of wiring, a bunch of small things I will do. It's the main backbone part I'm having someone else do. Eventually I'll get fenders on it, and the front clip, other than the fenders, are in the cab, so they can kind of make a front bumper to line up with the body lines and things like that. For the most part, the under hood is going to remain the same, other than small modifications here and there, and eventually the M90 blower will be put on and I have NA, but that's for later down the road, as I have other things I gotta organize together. But for right now, I'm sending it to Lenger Racing for them to do the whole, basically back half of the truck, finish the front, strengthen the front, and a front bumper with fenders on it. The cab's being left alone, and I'm going to finish up the minor details because I know I can do that. So in all, that's what's happening here. Not too much to really go over, other than the truck's pretty much bare with just a hood and cab on it. A lot of the harnesses are removed. The PCM's removed, the main engine harness removed. The engine's just sitting in there, hooked up to trans. Because the other problem with this is I have to go through the valve body of the trans and do some updating to that 200,000 mile trans that will probably get burnt up real fast. Other than that, excuse the wind, I don't think there's too much to really go over, other than, like, yeah, I just got boxes of crap in here for them and everything I think they need to finish the front, back half it, and then everything else I'll take care of. for being a stock engine. Probably doing 410s and 33s just for the rims I have. The back spacing might be an issue up here for where the tire. This might be an issue to where these rims are not exactly the great to use, but oh well, I already have a set of 5 and got a 6th one just for the spare tires in the back. We'll see how that works out. Also, I am ditching the 8.8 idea from an F-150, and they're going to make a housing for me with a 9-inch. So the whole back half of the truck will basically be bulletproof, especially with the 4.0, to where anything back here won't break. So hopefully you kind of get the gist of what's going on. I do want to keep the hitch, kind of keep the bumper, kind of make it look like almost a stock vehicle, but have a tube back gaff, and eventually it would have a cage. I want to always keep it A-arm, four-wheel drive, just for other things I want to play around with, not just for jumping or whatever. The engine is going to remain kind of the stock driveline, and just modify this engine for now until I have other funds to mess around with different powertrains that I'm thinking of. So maybe a 4.6, because the 4.6 out of that other parts Ranger I have, I might just throw in here. But the problem is that motor physically is big. They're relatively cheap. I have one that I can just sort of mess around with. I don't know, something I was considering, but for right now, stock driveline I'm only going to keep and just mess around with, and mainly change the stuff around it before I do any sort of engine trans modification. This is kind of the whole truck. There's no power steering fluid. I kind of bled the brakes, so at least it has front brakes, so when we move it off the trailer it's not sketchy. I kind of cleaned the frame of rust as best I could and put Steelite on it the best I could. This whole rear end is going bye-bye. Other than that, there's not too much really done back here. It's just a cab, drivetrain, and a hood. No real front clip right now. And after I get done with my stage of it, when I get it back, like I said, I'll be gutting the whole cab, and then it'll be going back for a cage. But that's way later down the road. So this is where it sits right now. Just kind of an update. Kind of like me just rambling on. The rear suspension is going to be the Camberg 3/4 link. The fuel cell, I'm doing a different fuel cell. They're giving me a deal for back there, a 32-gallon fuel cell. So a different fuel cell, and the fuel cell's going after the axle. So weight distribution is good. Other than that, 9-inch housing, Camberg 3-link, and fuel tank back there, and then I'll have it set up with 2 spares. Other than that, that's pretty much it. Everything else under the hood's remaining stock. Slight modification here and there. The battery will be relocated to the back, behind the cab, probably in front of the fuel tank, depending on where I want it to go or where I want to put the exhaust. I don't know. So much other things to do once I get it back, but I need the backbone stuff done because I don't have the space, tools, or the real know how to do that, so I'm just going to pay someone to do that portion, which is fine. I don't mind that. Yep, that's pretty much it. That's kind of an update to the truck. It's going to someone else to do some work to it that I don't want to do or can't do, or a little bit of both. I could learn it, but I don't really want to. But that's just me. So, take care. See you next time.